Today on the channel from Powertown Ultras Series 1, we got Bruiser Brody.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Powertown Series 1 unboxing and review. And today from Ultras Series 1, we've got Bruiser Brody. But for all your other wrestling figure needs, make sure you're hitting up Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. And we continue on with Powertown, as we already unboxed Magnum TA. Now we've moved on to Bruiser Brody, an all-time favorite of many, and another character just like Magnum TA, full of tragedy, but even more tragedy for Bruiser, of course, as he was murdered in Puerto Rico after a wrestling event. So one of the great tragedies of wrestling, and another one of those what-if stories. What if? What would happen to Bruiser Brody after that? Would he have had a big feud with Hulk Hogan in the WWF? He continued his reign of terror over there in Japan. Would he eventually landed himself in ECW? A lot of people thought he was a natural fit for that. Who knows where his career would have went? I guess we'll never know at this point, but very excited to get another Bruiser Brody figure. We've got a few over the years, but this one is going to be the most detailed yet, and very excited for this one. And of course, we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And of course, we'll do some comparisons later on in this video against other Bruiser Brody figures. But without further ado, let's take a look at the packaging on this one. Here's old Bruiser Brody looking good on Powertown Series 1. Of course, this is an image of the figure, not an image of him. Bruiser Brody, Powertown logo. You got a little bit of that window box there. And then, of course, you got that old flap action. Oh, the flap. But you got Bruiser in there. Big window box looking good. Then we got the flap. We got a lot of details in there. You guys know I love a good blurb, and that's as big of a blurb as we'll get in any toy line in 2023. I am definitely here for this. I think it looks really, really good. It does say here, throughout the 70s and 80s, from the regional territories of the United States to abroad, the mythical larger-than-life persona of Bruiser Brody was born. Standing 6'8", 300 pounds, talks about all kinds of stuff. Talks about him and his tag team title win with Stan Hansen back in the day, Pacific Wrestling Federation Tag Championship with Stan. We do get that title belt with Bruiser Brody here, but you can pause the video. You can read all that if you would like to. He is on the side of the package here. Love the wrap around of the belt. Very cool, very like a bookshelf, like a VHS tape. That's how this packaging is. And when we did take a quick look at that Vern Gagne, I was shocked how big the packaging on these were. Very big box size on these guys here. Same thing over there, a little glamour shot of the action figure. He is number 6 in Series 1 for those keeping track at home. And then on the back, there it is. You got Bruiser at the top showing everything. Got the big cross sell down low. Everybody loves a good cross sell. A lot going on. Removable belt, arm, and knee pad. Arm and knee pad. I thought arm at first. I'm like, why has he got a removable arm? But looking good here. Looks like he does have his chain, and he does have a 2x4. Like a young Hacksaw Jim Duggan in some ways. But we're going to pull the old Bruiser Brody out right now. We're going to see what all the fuss is about. And there is fuss. See you later. Going to stick this off to the side. Saving my boxes for now on these. I got a buddy that is a huge Bruiser Brody fan. He is picking this figure up, or he did pick up this figure as well. And he doesn't collect action figures, so this is getting some crossover love for sure. Little plastic prison. Let's pull this out, maybe. Oh my gosh, oh, we're taped. We're taped with the Bruiser. I don't think we were taped with the Magnum. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Is there more to that story? I'm not sure, but there we go. Fold that back. See you later off to the side. All right, let's get down to Bruiser Brody here. Wait a minute, where's the 2x4? Are you kidding me? Oh, I almost missed it. I thought for a second it wasn't in there. Down at the bottom, so be careful there. It's hidden away at the bottom there. Got the old 2x4. I will say this 2x4, I guess this is the first thing we'll look at here. Very small, way too small of a 2x4. I don't even know what this is. This actually looks like a 2x2. Yes, a 2x2 is what this looks like. So definitely way too small, especially with this larger size figure. This looks like it would be too small for a Mattel Elite, let alone something like him. But I guess you don't have to call it 2x4. You just call it a wooden piece of a weapon. It is what it is. There you go. See you later. We do get one extra hand with him. Always strange to get one hand. And I'll say it right now, no fist with Bruiser Brody. He is one of the all-time brawlers in wrestling. You think you might need a fist with Bruiser Brody, at least from where I sit. And, of course, you guys know right here at this table. We do get this hand here. It's kind of an open hand, a little hush hand there, a hush hush, a little John Nord style, which I guess he did it beforehand, but we do get this nice wrapping of the tape on the fingers as well, but only one there. And then same thing with the 2x4, if you want to call it that. We do get a chain. It's a nice real chain, but I really do feel like the chain needs to be bigger. This almost looks like it's going to be a necklace on Bruiser Brody, not so much a big logger's chain he's swinging around, causing injury on people. So I would have liked to see the accessory a little bit bigger, for sure, on this one here. Just seems a little too small, a little bit too thin for me. We do get that tag title belt we talked about, and we talked about these belts with Magnum TA. These go together very nice. Some of the best title belts we've seen in action figures, really, in all honesty. Good color on them. They seem to clasp together pretty good, or at least Magnum's did. This one's fighting me a little bit more. But a little different style of clasping together. Good color on these, and definitely first time in the line belts. We've never had these belts before. Just very cool to get stuff like this for the first time. So very cool to get this tag title belt. But I will say, Bruiser Brody, in my mind, one of those guys that would never have a title belt. Very rare to have a title belt. You don't need it. He doesn't need a title belt. He gets disqualified half the time anyways, but him and Stan Hansen did have a pretty famous tag team back in the day, as we all do know. Then we do get his little vest here, and very iconic. When I do think of Bruiser Brody and I do close my eyes, he has that chain, and he always has this kind of furry vest going on, along with his furry boots, things like that. Unfortunately, this is not furry. This is plastic, you know, kind of like we've seen vests from Mattel, things like that. I would have loved a real fur vest for him. I think that would have really added to it. I'd love to see a Threadhead or one of these other companies make a fur vest that would work with this. I think that would be very, very cool to see. But still, it is very cool. It does get the point across. If you know what you're looking for, you would know this was supposed to be furry. Some people may not know that, though, but we do get that. So a lot of accessories with this one. And then I guess out of the package, first thing I noticed, and it goes back to the fur, would have loved the furry boots or a fur overlay, something going on there. Would have really loved to seen that with Bruiser Brody. Apparently it is not in the cards here. But let's kick it off. Let's start with the head here. We got a very big Bruiser Brody head here. A big head on him. And then it looks just like what's on my shirt here. But definitely looks like Bruiser Brody all day long. Once again, just like Magnum TA, I know who this is. Somebody hands me this head, I know what's going on here. Not sure everybody will, but if you're a dedicated wrestling fan, you go back to some of these classic guys, I think they do get the point across very good here. I love the big ponytail in the back, of course, with him. Do we have articulation to that ponytail? No, we do not have articulation on that. But we got the ponytail, and then we got the hair down on the sides. But I do think this looks good. Love the hair sculpt, love the hair color, love all that. Love the big bushy beard on him. It's got those devil-piercing eyes that Bruiser Brody was known for. They captured that very well. The only gripe I have on the head is the blade scars on the top. Now, Bruiser Brody had blade scars for days. There's no denying it. He was carved up all over the place. This is a little bit too pink. Now, there is tons of pictures of him with bright pink blade scars across his head. We've seen him a million times, but those are after a fresh match, things like that. So I guess if you want to say this is fresh after a match, fresh during a match, whatever, I would have preferred maybe a less red, more subdued, more like lines in the forehead. But I guess it just comes down to what you do prefer there. But it is painted on blade scars. I would have liked to seen sculpted blade scars and left them with maybe just a little less hue of a pink tone. But that is depending on what you want and how you like your blade scars on your wrestlers' heads, I guess. But definitely looks like Bruiser Brody looks really, really good there. Big barrel chest on Bruiser Brody. Long arms, and these bodies on these are very interesting. To me, they remind me of a cross between AEW Jazzwares and Super 7 Ultimates. Is kind of how these body styles really remind me. A little bit thin in the forearms, a little bit thin in the hand, but big chest, and then a little bit thinner in the leg. So the proportions are just a smidge off for me, but not terrible. Not terrible at all, but they're not going to smoke and mirrors very well with your Mattel Elites. As we saw with Magnum, we'll do some comparisons in this video as well. Now, he's saying he's supposed to be 6'8", so he is the giant of the bunch. For some reason, I was thinking he was 6'6", but it says 6'8" on the box there. Articulation, of course, head does go side to side. You get down. You don't get a whole lot of up there. Of course, his hair is going to limit that articulation. You do get the arms all the way around. Shoulders go up. Nice flow. Nice tightness to these. No looseness at all. You do get the single jointed elbows. Oh my gosh, those are very tight in the elbow department. You just got to work them through. But they are single jointed, and of course we do have the pins here. Not a big fan of the pins. I would love it if they were double jointed pinless, but apparently that's not in the cards right here. We do get the clasping hands over on both these, and I really do feel the hands are both very small for Bruiser Brody's size. I feel like these hands need to be just a hair bigger on him here. You do get the hula hoop, of course. Not a ton of movement out of that hula hoop, in all honesty. Not a ton. And then the skin tone, a little bit different. The top and the midsection, just the skin tone off between them. So you can notice that there. But still does look really good. Not sure if I remember Bruiser Brody having abs, but I'm all for wrestling figures. I feel like they should be a little bit more. If the guy didn't have abs, he should have abs in his action figure. That's kind of how I feel. Your mileage may vary on that one, of course. Very interesting on the hands. Once again, very small, I do feel. You do get the legs. He can jump on a cow if he needs to. He can jump on a horse even if he needs to. We can do all that. Legs go up, side to side. There's no thigh cut in these, so you just get more of a traditional leg. You do get single jointed knees. You do get the boot articulation. You get the ankles back and forth. Got the big high socks on Bruiser Brody. Of course, always known for those socks and the fur boots. You got the one knee pad where you drop the big old King Kong knee drop if you needed to. We do have that going on there. We do not have peg holes in the feet. That is one thing I think is missing. Would have liked to seen. It does look like the feet are a hair small as well. So the proportions are just a little bit off in a few places. Not terribly off, just enough. And once again, I think it's up to you depending on how you view your proportions and what you want to see there. But definitely a cool figure, and probably the one of the series I'd have to think I'm most excited about because I am a big Bruiser Brody guy. I want to make sure he can hold this board if he needs to. Uh-oh, lost a hand there. He can't hold the board if he needs to. It's not going to flop out of his hand either. So you can't have that, but you can see how that looks. It looks like he's just got a little stick in his hand. It just is not very big compared to how big this figure is. And the chain especially, the same kind of thing. I mean, it looks like he's swinging around a necklace or something. But it definitely does go with him. You can do that. And, of course, he was known for the chain. He was known for a lot of things, Bruiser Brody, at the end of the day. But a good figure. I'm not sure if it's absolutely great. I mean, there's a few things I would improve, but nobody else has given us a Bruiser Brody figure in 2023. So you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit in some ways with this one here. I'm just happy somebody would take the time to make this scale of a Bruiser Brody figure. But definitely does look cool. I am definitely here for this. I am glad I purchased this at the end of the day. It is still cool. Just a few little tweaks would have made it absolutely perfect. And speaking of Bruiser Brody, another one that needed a few little tweaks. How about the Jakks Classic Superstars Bruiser Brody for a little comparison here? Just an absolute game changer when this one came out. I mean, it was like 16 years ago, so definitely technology has changed. Things have changed. You got the same articulation between these figures. They have the same articulation points, I guess, if you're keeping track at home. Definitely like this Bruiser. This Bruiser definitely looks more like Bruiser in the head sculpt department than Jakks did. Jakks looked good. This looks better, but it should. It's been a lot of years since this one came out, but you can compare those. Got the fur boots on this one as well, and you even got a bigger chain with this one. So I guess you could flip-flop the chains if you really wanted to. So we do have that. I did think, and when I do think of Bruiser Brody, I think of his battles with, of course, Abdullah the Butcher. So I'm going to go back to Jakks once again. Get Abdullah the Butcher here side by side. I don't know. He's supposed to be 6'8". Abdullah the Butcher is about 6'1", 6'2" tops, maybe even less than that. So, kind of smoke and mirrors there, kind of. I don't know. You guys tell me, but I'm hoping Powertown comes to us with an Abdullah the Butcher figure. I know Abdullah, he's looking for money anywhere he can get, so I'm sure he would sign up if he could. And it would definitely test the molds of the Powertown team, getting a Giant Man mold made for Abdullah the Butcher to go along with these. And, of course, we did unbox Magnum TA, old Terry Allen himself. We can compare these two right here. So, Magnum TA, I think they said he was 6'1". Bruiser, 6'8". I don't know. You guys be the judge in between those two if I can get Magnum to stand up. Magnum doesn't want to stand up. He's not standing up for anybody. There we go. So you can kind of test that right there if you see those height scales there. It's close. It's close. What is scale? What is size? What is time? I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. But there it is. There is Bruiser Brody Powertown Series 1. One we've been waiting a long time for. Happy to finally have in my possession after all this time. But let me know your thoughts on Bruiser Brody in the comments down below. Of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bells. We got videos every single day. We got a heck of a lot more Powertown to come, so you don't want to miss out on that. Make sure you do subscribe to this very YouTube channel for the rest of these videos here. And of course, don't forget to like this video. We talked about Hacksaw with the board. Well, let's talk about it with the old thumbs up. Give it the old Hacksaw Jim Duggan thumbs up to this video. Always helps the channel. And don't forget about Patreon so you can get early access to videos like this course, all the other Powertown videos much, much earlier than traditional YouTube. And of course, you do support the channel. You can also support the channel over at ProWrestlingTees.com. Just search Kyle Peterson. And then, of course, social media, SirPaul64 on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. So for Bruiser Brody, I am Kyle. I'll see you guys all real soon.